Peace and okay, we ready now. Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome to the May 9th. Excuse me, not May 9th. September 8th. You see where I'm at? Look at
That's somewhere like
right. Right. Y'all see where I want to be at. So we are welcome everyone to the September 8th, 2025 meeting of CB11's Human Services Committee. My name is Isaac Scott and I'm the chair of the committee. This meeting is called to order at 6:09 p.m. Tonight we are joined by Community Associate Marlene Pierre, the staff liaison to our committee, to conduct an efficient meeting. Let's observe some ground rules real quick. No one may speak until granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you click the participants icon or participants panel, in the participants panel, it'll appear and you should find the raise hand function there. If you still have technical difficulty, you may click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff there. The chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about the topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through the Zoom. The chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. So we do ask you to state it out loud before you put it in the chat. When a member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you will unmute yourself so that you can speak. Please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have a question or a comment about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. Now we'll do roll call. So board members, you can just answer present when you hear your name.
Marcel Bondima,
present.
Leslie Colon. Did she excuse me this meeting?
She did
Okay.
reach out, yes.
Okay. Ada Garizi. Chancellor Craig.
Present.
Robin McGinty.
Present.
Jennifer Meyer.
Present.
Hayward Mouton.
Present.
Tanya Phelps.
I'm on Zoom.
Did you fill out the form? Did you get a chance to fill out the QD form?
I spoke to someone who was I'm new, so I don't know what to do. And someone's supposed to get back to me and they didn't. So I just joined via Zoom.
I'll explain this in a minute.
You let me know how you want to record it.
Okay. You're a board member? No, you're good. Okay.
You let me know how you want to record it.
Oh,
It's up
that's
to you.
it could be excused.
Okay.
It is what it is.
No problem.
Yes, I'll explain that.
Sorry if I'm pronouncing this person's name wrong. Janelle Satija?
Present. Janelle.
How do you pronounce it?
Janelle.
Janelle? Okay, I'll write it for another question.
Janelle.
Janelle.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I mess it up a few times, so I'll get it right.
So Janelle.
Janelle.
Okay, I wrote it phonetically, I won't mess it up. And Isaac Scott?
Present.
And Robin Stration.
Present.
You have a form.
So,
Did I didn't call you Valerie?
No.
Oh, because I already checked you
Oh,
off. Okay, I'm sorry. Valerie Conti?
Present.
Okay.
right. All right. So, on this note, Tanya. So just so we're clear, whether, and this is something that still needs to be situated with the bylaws committee, but whether you have let someone know that you are, unless you fill out that form, the disabilities form, which was sent to every board member, is also available on the site. I'll make sure you get it again. Unless you fill out that form, and this is to everyone, unless you fill out that form, you're not excused from a meeting and it will count as an absence. So when I say excused, I'm just saying that you let me know that you weren't going to be here. It's still going to be marked as an absence on your behalf when the executive committee or the secretary does their tally, just so y'all understand. So whether you let me know or you don't let me know, if you don't come, if you're not in the room, it's an absence. If you filled out that form to be virtual, then you can count towards quorum and you can vote. You can always participate in the meetings, but being counted present is different. Does that make sense? And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, can I respond?
Yes,
Do you have a moment to
yes,
respond?
please.
So if I wasn't aware of that, is this meeting counted as an absence? Because I don't know anything, and I
Yeah.
can tell, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, it won't be, it will be, but it won't be. I'm gonna go and advocate on your behalf because of that. Because I know
And,
what,
and
you know.
listen, it's only because I have a family member who just had a stroke, and I have all his children here with me, and I can't bring them to a meeting. I would have been there, but I had a real emergency.
Let's just talk about it offline, and when we
Okay.
go to the executive committee meeting, I'll let them know that I spoke with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So if you go on vacation and you say you're going, is that still kind of as an
Yeah,
absence? Okay.
yeah, unless you on vacation sick. Yes, I'm not giving you ideas, I'm just letting you know. If you're sick and you're not here, that's the only way, you know, that you can participate virtually. Other than that, you're absent if you're not in the. It is courteous if you let me know that you're not gonna be here because we may need to cancel a meeting. And it may not be right to have, some people are traveling far, some people are traveling with aching bones and body parts. So to have people come to the meetings, you know, and then it's like we don't have quorum and you knew you wasn't coming, you could have let us know yesterday, kind of helps. So that's really what they're letting us know in advance. And anytime I say anything during the meeting, just let me know, we can talk about it. You know, we don't have to be so formal, but I do want to make sure everyone is clear, especially since I know we have a lot of new members. All right, so the agenda for today's meeting was distributed to the board's office ahead of time. If there's no objections, we will adopt the agenda as it is written. If you have any objections, you can raise your hand, state your objections. Seeing no objections, we'll adopt the agenda the way it is. There are no meeting minutes to be adopted this month. Next month, which is October, we will adopt the minutes from May, June, and September. So I want to make sure you guys have enough time to look at it beforehand. Yeah, some of you weren't here for those months, but it's okay. At least you'll see the minutes. But some of you were, so if you want to have enough time to look at the minutes to object to anything, next month we will ratify all outstanding minutes. Okay. That being said, let's get into the fun stuff. All right. So let's start with announcements. Are there any announcements from any community board members? This is this part of the meeting, y'all, where you should let us know about work that you're doing in the community. If there's any particular announcements you want to make to let us know about the work that you are aware of or that you're doing, or anything that people should just know about. Maybe you heard about something, you saw it in the mail, a newsletter or something, and you want to share it. This is the time for that. You also have the whole meeting to do that, but this time is reserved for announcements. So are there any announcements from any? And this is community members as well. So if y'all have announcements and y'all want to give about something, this is also the time for that as well. But let me start with any board members. Are there any announcements from any board members? No? You have an announcement?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, please, just introduce yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
hello, hey everybody, I'm Zach Bill. I know
You're good.
I get very busy. I hurt myself every now and then. But I'm all for the community, I'm all for the community board. I've been for a long time trying to get more people to be active in many community boards. Right now, my goal is to get more people to even vote locally. I'm big on spreading awareness. I'm an artist and activist and a fashion executive, but I use a lot of my talents now to get people aware for a lot of things. So I do a lot of positive things. I want to bring the community together. So for Fashion Week, I normally don't do like the big shows as I used to as much. So I do more community-based things to spread awareness. So I have just quite a few politicians sliding through, but I want like more of like the locals to come because I think it's more impactful from where you're actually from, where you live at. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. Give everybody a welcome. It'll be at the Artful Walls, the art gallery right there on Lenox, Malcolm X on 124th and 123rd between here.
Well,
First-
no, no.
Across the street from the haberdashery, like right directly across the
You
street.
got an event flyer?
Yeah, I have,
Something you can
yeah, I
see?
have all of that.
Yeah, that would be
I
perfect.
do, yeah, I
That
have.
would be perfect.
That's a new technology that has something you can see.
Could you read off the information on it to us real quick? Just the event, the name of the event, the venue, the time, location, and all that, so people listening can hear
So it was a 3-day event, but the one for Harlem that I'm, that's
it.
there.
Yeah.
I'll just do that one. I'll do one here. So, I opened everything with a letter. We are thrilled to invite you to the 7th installment of the Red Show presented by Good Fashion Institute. The highly anticipated event promised to be an unforgettable experience, and we're showcasing stunning art, captivating entertainment, and most of all, the good vibes. Beyond the celebration, we are committed to empowering our community through civic engagement. And the Red Show will be held 426 Malcolm X, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. There is a link for RSVP for donations for tickets. All of the tickets go to the donations for that art gallery and the programs that they fund there. Whenever you guys do get a chance, check out the art galleries that we have in Harlem. Harlem is like the basis of like a lot of culture, and we're trying to keep that going. So I just want to get more of the youth involved, but we have to bridge that gap between the youth and everyone else. So I would like to get them more involved into the community. So
What's the date?
Thursday, 9/11.
No, this Thursday.
Every year I do something on 9/11. Try my best to do something on 9/11. Try to do something positive for New York based off of things in the past that happened. Like everything is through awareness. Everything is just clean, family, everything like that.
Are there any questions? Any questions from any board members?
Oh, you said you have the RSVP?
Yes, this is the link I have.
If you email it to me, that would be very
I'll put it
helpful.
right here and everybody can just take a picture.
You could do that too. That would be helpful.
Still want on Eventbrite, correct?
Yes, it's on the Eventbrite too, yeah.
Thank you.
Got it.
Yeah, cool. Can you send that to me, beloved, so I can send that around? Cool. So that's not- And yes, you please myself take a picture of that. Cool, great. I didn't mean to cut you off. Was there any more in that announcement you wanted to give?
No, if you make it, I have like a lot more that's coming. If you want to get involved, or if you need support, also I do a lot of like things like all over. But I'm from here originally, so I want to get back to like my roots and doing more things for the community. And it's very important for people to know. A lot of people, when I speak on it, a lot of the youth don't know how. And there's but so much I can do in a day. So I want them to just have the access to people who actually care.
Can I give you my number so you can text that?
Sure.
Gotcha.
Any questions?
Yeah, are there any questions? Yes.
I might have missed it. What's your name?
Zach Good. ZAHQ.
Okay.
I'm the only Zach with a Q. You probably never forget it.
I don't know, I'm bold. I might.
All right, thank you very much.
Text it now, I'll send it.
Cool, I got you. All right,
Thank you all for your time.
thank you for
Thank you
being here.
too.
Thank you for your work. Thank you very much for your work. I'm definitely gonna invite some young people, I'm definitely gonna invite some young people, but I'm gonna just share it in the mail.
And we definitely need more people like register. We need more people to vote, honestly.
Yes,
Like we have to start locally. We need more people to do events. That's why we need our events to be successful so that we can spread the actual win.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have a table available for, if we wanted to have a community board information?
Yeah, that's what
That's
we're trying to set up. That's what,
Okay.
Oh, I want, you wanna take it?
Sure.
Yeah, so, that is perfect so that people can have the access.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's great. It's great when we can be represented.
I'll meet you there.
And
There you go.
that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, brother, I'm gonna reach out to you just sidebar, because I'm also an artist and I work with a lot of young people. And I think they're just
Let's see how it works.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
That's great.
I do it internationally, really, anyway, but I really want to focus more here because we have a problem here. It's not like how it used to be.
We do.
Yeah,
Thank you
so,
very
and I
much.
think that we definitely have to attack. Thank you guys for your initiative and your work, because you could be at home.
Thank you very much. All right, are there any more announcements from any, yes, please.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name's Ahmad. I live here in East Harlem and I work at Union Settlement on the development team. So, and I just recently joined. So, first I just want to show face, say hello. It's nice to meet you all. And then I wanted to mention that, we have a lot of events that we do all year round. We just had a backpack drive. We have Thanksgiving stuff coming up, like handing out, food, and toy drives coming up. And I was curious how we could kind of connect with you guys about those coming up, just get more people from the community to come and accept these things from us. So that is more of a question than an announcement. I hope that's all right.
No.
And then secondly, of course, we could always use support in kind of connecting to local businesses to also get these things. So like, if we're getting food supplies for the Thanksgiving events and so on, usually we reach out to like local, organizations and like local businesses and whatnot, to supply our food, toys, etc. So I'm not sure exactly how that works here with you guys, but if you have any resources, I saw that you guys have a lot of sponsors on many of your events, local businesses, so that's what made it cross my mind.
Which event you looking at?
Let's see here. It says 4th annual Back to Beautiful, Guns Down, Brushes Up. That was August 23rd, Art in the Park.
Oh, on the park, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
It's good. That's what's up.
So it's nice.
So the folks from Art in the Park are on the committee tomorrow. But we good, but just like, Youth and Education, one of the people, the sister who founded that is on the Youth and Education committee. So,
Okay.
Yeah. But to the request, I think one thing we can do is you can always email stuff to me and Marlene, and we'll try to, we can get it in the mailer for CB11, but also I can also forward it out to my network as well, and I'm sure my network includes this network here, and they also have their own networks, so we all could just, that's one way we can do that.
Awesome. What is your email?
My email, let's take the one that, I'll give you my work one, not the CB11. So Scott.
I, the letter.
Yes, I, the letter, like Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, SCOTT,
Mhm.
at, all one word, Another Choice NYC .org.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes.
And just for the record, so you do have it, my community board email is humanservices@CB11M.org. And I do answer both emails, but I would prefer the both emails.
Awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you for your work and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
So whoever's attending this meeting as an attendee, I don't know if you guys signed in. If you haven't done so, can you do so? It's right there on the calendar.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Just thing I signed in so we know y'all was here.
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate y'all. All right, cool. Any questions first for Union Settlement, please? Yes, please.
You mentioned you wanted help from businesses and stuff. Do you accept donations from like people for toys and?
Yeah, of course. Especially with toys, we can take them at any time, and we have storage space. When it comes to food, we have a different timeline, but you can reach out. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Individuals, organizations, doesn't matter.
Would you mind emailing me that process? So I know, like, hey, this is how you can go about getting food.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, just so I can share that out.
And
Yeah.
then what kind of things do you accept?
Okay, yeah, actually, I'll put a one-pager together, something you can share with everybody, and that'd be great. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All All right, so we're gonna move into our informational updates. I have announcements, but I'm gonna make them go later while we are going through our business. So our first set of updates will be from the Department of Mental Health and Hygiene. The OHMH is fully on with us today?
No.
No? Okay, so we will have to follow up with Pauline. We had another contact with the Center for Health Equity and Community Wellness. Are they on?
Thank you.
I need to follow up with them. Okay, it's good to know. Follow up. Making my notes. Okay, do we have anyone from East Harlem Co-ed on?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, hey, oh, I do, okay,
Oh.
great.
Hi. Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm Maya. It's good to see you all again. And I'm representing the East Harlem Co-ed. And we've got a few updates. We were out promoting and sharing some resources with our seniors last Thursday with our mature adults at Jefferson. So it was great to see some of you all there too. We also have our September 18th is our virtual meeting. And so anyone can attend. You can email the East Harlem Co-ed email. So that's just eastharlemcoed@gmail.com for any other updates if you want to get on our list, as well as to join the group. And there's always great resources shared there for preparedness. We have, a sad update was that we did see the fires that affected folks on East 122nd last week, and fires continue to be an issue in the neighborhood. So we've been working with the American Red Cross. Anyone who needs a smoke alarm installed, they can reach out to a link that I'm happy to share. And I hope that you all can help me share that information. The American Red Cross is also going to be canvassing in the neighborhood to get smoke alarms installed because it's such a major issue. We also are actually partnering with the American Red Cross to make this year's resource fair bigger than ever. So on the 27th, as a Saturday, we're going to be doing our annual resource fair. It's going to be at Bethel Gospel this year on 120th. And so we hope to see all of you there. I'll send the flyer. And yeah, and if there are any other questions that you all might have for the co-ed as well. But thanks so much for having us.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. Maya, you said?
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. I wanted to, what was the date of the resource fair you said?
Yeah, it's September 27th. It's Saturday. It's going to be in collaboration with American Red Cross. We're going to have a lot of fun expansions on the event this year. We're going to have the FDNY smoke truck. It's going to be there. We also have a mascot for kids. It's called Pedro the Penguin, and he talks all about preparedness with the youth. So it's going to be a lot of fun for all ages.
Nice, nice. And are you guys, so last year we tabled when at the fair, the Dream School. Are you guys still, okay, so can we table again?
Absolutely, yeah, we're definitely open for tabling. This year, we're also looking to do as much kind of engaging and interactive tables as possible. So if you all have those types of activities that could be interesting, useful for the community, but please, of course, reach out, and I'll be happy to let the members know that you guys want to be there. You can email the co-ed just to confirm, but we'll make sure that there's space for you.
Okay, thank you very much. And yes, thank you. This is good. Okay, cool. Any questions for East Harlem Co-ed?
Yeah,
Yes.
2 questions. The email again is eastharlemcoed@gmail.
Yeah.
Okay, and then where's the resource fair happening this year?
It's happening at Bethel Gospel Assembly, 120th and Madison. I'm happy to, I'll definitely make sure I put the exact address on the flyer. I think I sent it to hosts and panelists, but I'll make sure that everyone can get that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You all can spread it around, and we'd love to have as many people there as possible.
Yes, sir. Do you have my direct email?
I'm sure that our leadership has it, but let me take it down just in case.
Okay, no, No, it's cool. It's cool. Cause y'all all, if y'all, so I can just shoot an email to the regular co-ed Gmail, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we're all on there. I check it. Selena, Angel, Carol, everybody's LinkedIn. So we'll be happy to hear from you. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you again, Mike, for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you all. One other thing I just wanted to represent for Lenox Hill too, because we heard from them, they're partners of ours as well, and they have openings for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. So if anyone is interested in the Lenox Hill neighborhood house, please feel free to reach out to them. I'll put their contact in there too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move us along. Our next set of updates would be from the Center for Comprehensive Health Practice, CCHP. Do we have anyone on from CCHP?
I don't see anyone.
Either. Okay. Another one to follow up with, and I do see Antonika here. So we do have Housing Works Connect program representing. Hi, Antonika.
Hi. Good afternoon, evening. I wish I was there in person. Sorry. Hopefully next month I will be there in person. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Great. So yeah, Connect is doing well. For those who are unfamiliar with our program, we are a community-based behavioral health program, and we offer free case management and free therapy services for all adults in Harlem, free of charge. And the uniqueness of our program is that you do not need to come to the clinic if you don't want to. Our therapists and case managers can come to you, so you can have a session at home, telehealth, or even out in the community, someplace you feel comfortable, such as Starbucks. So you could be having a therapy session with your therapist in Starbucks, and nobody actually has to know you're in therapy. It just looks like two people are sitting and having coffee. And those are some of the services that we provide. And additionally, like I said, we also have case managers that offer support services and helping people with applying for benefits. And the other benefit of our program is that you do not need to have health insurance at all. So just a plug for that. Again, we come to you. You don't need to have health insurance, just 18 and over, all of Harlem, East, Central, and West. With that being said, we started support groups at the clinic this week, and I put a flyer in the chat for the support groups. People are free to attend. There are going to be 5 more sessions between this month and October. And so if people are interested, there is a QR code that's attached to that, as well as the name of the therapist and a phone number that you can use in order to register an RSVP to sit in on the support group sessions that are upcoming for the rest of this month and also for October. And I also wanted to plug that we are also looking for a new case manager for our team. So if you know of any folks who have some case management experience, Connect is looking for a case manager. And it would be great if someone was bilingual, and that would be beneficial for our team. And Housing Works, our clinic, is located at 145 East 125th Street, and Connect is on the 4th floor. So we are right on 125th and Lexington Avenue. People can come to the clinic to see the therapist as well if they want to. But again, we're trying to meet community members where they are. So a lot of our programming is actually done in the field. We do presentations. We do collaborations with other groups, such as the COAD. We've collaborated with this board and this body, and we're excited to continue doing that. And we also participated in the Union Settlement backpack giveaway a few weeks ago. So we're trying to be everywhere and really bringing services to the community that are much needed, and continue to foster and facilitate space to collaborate and not see each other as competitors. It's great seeing everybody, and yeah, look forward to working with you the rest of this upcoming year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonika. They were also a part of our Open Streets initiative this summer. Antonika was a part of the Wellness Committee. So I appreciate all of the work that you've been doing. Are there any questions for Housing Workers Connect? So our informational updates, these are the people that I've invited to come and give us updates every month. So if you guys have some people that you think organizations you believe should be coming before us and giving regular updates, please let me know. And we can, talk about it and get some of them here, invite some of them to come and present. They do rotate. I think when I first started, I think the only thing that's still on here from the beginning is DOHMH. Everyone else has been a new addition. And since we're in a new year, I'm offering the opportunity now for us to keep this rotating. And it doesn't have to rotate, it can expand. It just makes our meeting a little longer, but it's okay. I think the updates are important, especially from specific organizations. So I definitely want to hear from you. Again, no questions for Housing Workers? No? Okay, good. Antonika, thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, y'all. So we got yes.
I have a question for the COAD, but we can.
For the code,
but I can table this up next.
No, you don't need to.
I guess my question is, because I guess I live here, so I have a fear of fire. That building right there, when I moved, when I heard it blew up, that building right here, that caved me. And then I don't know my neighbors well. I don't know how they manage their gas stoves and all of those things. And then I read in one of the budget proposals that one of the schools, like electrical wiring, is outdated. So one, what is the reason for increasing fires in this neighborhood? And then I guess my second question is, what is HPD doing to ensure that these buildings are within fire standards? And for like private owned buildings, if these landlords can't afford to update their fire hazard codes, what grants are out there that we are helping them apply for to make sure that we're all safe?
So Maya, that was a question. There was a few questions for the COAD. I'm not sure if you have all of the answers, but you can please. I'll leave it to you.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can make sure that we get you those answers, but I had my baby screaming in my ear. So is there any chance that you could repeat the last one?
The last one, let me see if I can remember the last one.
Sorry.
Grants for, like private landlords who just can't afford to update the wiring or update gas lines. That's not my specialty. It's just a fear of mine that it'll blow up one day, Are there any grants out there for them, and are we pushing that their direction so they can, keep us safe?
I'm gonna make sure I get all of these questions over to our COAD leadership, and we can get that info to you, because I think those are partnerships we should be making, but I'm not aware if it's happening right now.
I just wanted to comment in terms of, so that explosion, that was a gas explosion. So it was not electrical per se. So there is a differentiation.
Yes.
But it's still the interconnectivity,
correct,
if you will.
Perfect.
So
yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can talk to you offline about the other stuff as well. I'm an emergency manager by trade, so.
Please, you can say it now. You'd be educating everybody. Please.
So the increase in fires is a variety of things. One thing being the lithium batteries. So the battery packs on the bikes and everything. So similar to how people, you charge your phone overnight, people do that with those batteries, and that's bad because those batteries start to spark. So you have those fires. Also, we're going into the season of where house fires or apartment fires are increasing because of winter times and everything. So it's a multitude of things. A lot of times it's just people, grease, right? Leaving the stove on, also candles as a part of that. By updating like electrical stuff for like grant management, things. So you want to look for like weatherization type programs for private landlords to help with that. So HPD may have resources to tell you where those weatherization programs are at. So it's a variety of things. Yep.
So
Thank you.
the hit is, it's not one thing.
It's not one thing. It's a multitude of things.
Right, and it's not necessarily about residents.
Yeah, so sometimes it's residents, sometimes it's not.
Right.
Also with which I'm glad that COAD is working with ARC to get smoke alarms installed, because a lot of times a lot of people, they will take their smoke alarm down. Right? As soon as it starts beeping and everything, they don't change their batteries and things like that. So American Red Cross is really great. Also, you can go to your local fire station and they can get you a new fire alarm. You want to get a mix, you want to get the combo, a fire alarm and carbon monoxide. For NYCHA residents, though, they can't take Red Cross ones because NYCHA has its own own budget for fire alarms. But I also work for NYCHA, so I know this part. I work in their emergency management team. So,
Wow, cool.
so every maintenance worker, so all they have to do is just call in to the customer contact center and say, hey, I need a new fire alarm. And that's
It's not a stupid question,
it's not stupid.
but like with the lithium batteries, because like Uber Eats, that's what everybody's using, transportation. Is there a place they can charge it?
So I do know the city is working on something. Department of Sanitation is trying to figure out different ways of how to get people to charge it safely and everything. So that's a work in progress that's still being figured out, because you want to have like a location of it, but then the thing is the station wise, right? So similar to how with city bike stations where
Right.
people are like, I don't want that here. That's the similar thing with the lithium battery stations. People do not want it near their property because if a fire happens and their
Right.
property is affected.
But if it happens in the house,
Yeah.
I mean, one catastrophe, so it's got to be something safe. Because I mean, that is a big fear, especially with like I know in my building, my people, my landlord has been good, but he's been renting to people because he's getting them when he can find them to make the unit, and maybe not the best choice to be in the unit, especially younger. I mean, I'm having a lot of younger, and they got these lithium batteries, and they don't make sure I make sure like I check all my gas stuff when I go to sleep. I'm doing all these things, and I feel like how do we know these other people are checking and getting this information to them? I know that resource fairs are great, but going access to that is different, and a lot of people don't go. Especially people younger, they don't go to the resource fair. How are we getting that information to them to be good neighbors?
Right. So FD is constantly, fire department is constantly sending out campaign messaging through mail to let people know about how to deal with lithium batteries. So it's just one of those things where part of it is personal responsibility of knowing if you have this battery, you can't charge it overnight. If you're going to charge it, make sure you're awake and you're aware of it, right? Don't use a surge protector to charge it, right? You want to charge it directly into it. So it's just a variety of things. It's education, right? It's constant education on it.
Can I ask a question? Is there already a one pager that exists? Is something that we can create?
I'm pretty sure there is already one pager for it. I can just look it up.
Because I'm just thinking that could be one way. I was thinking like having them up in the buildings on the floor. That's just, when you wait for the elevator, you see that. I think I would love to put that in my. So to that same point about the lithium batteries, last year there was a fire on my floor because of one of the batteries, and I'm glad that I was in the house and awake and by the door, because we have an apartment where we could be in the back room and we're so far from the door that people banging on the door, we wouldn't know. And my stepson was in the back sleeping, and it was so crazy because the window it was coming out of was adjacent to mine, so I could literally see the smoke coming out, and I was just like, what's happening? And it was a fire from the lithium battery, and it spread very fast. And it was, so yeah, it was very dangerous. I agree. I think it would be good if we could have something that we are putting up. We could just be tasked with putting it in our own buildings. You know what I mean? Just ask people to just put them up. I think that would be good.
So FD does have it. I can just send the site to Union. You
Can you send them?
Yeah.
If you actually, I don't mean to put you to work, but I kind of do. If you got everybody's email now, because I sent y'all an email, you can send it to all.
I got you. Yeah. I'll reply back to that one email that you sent.
Thank you so much. Yeah, perfect. That would be perfect. Thank you so much. Cool. Thank you for your question. Thank you very much. Don't ever stop there, because that's the information we need to be having. That is a human service issue that we need to be talking about. You know what I mean? So thank you very much for that. Anything else before we get into our budget stuff? No? I'm kind of hoping that first, before we get into that everyone, we could just go around and do some introductions, because we kind of got into some work, which is great, but I feel like I don't kind of know a lot of that. I did send an email to a lot of you all, so we had an opportunity to kind of look me up and I guess virtually get to know me before we sit here. But I would love to hear a little bit from you all about who you are, the work you do in East Harlem, for East Harlem, and also what brought you to the Human Services Committee specifically, and what you're hoping to, what are some goals you have? Or, I know that was a lot of questions in one, which I knew about. So I'll I already introduced myself. Do I need to go again? Isaac Scott, y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here today and that we did this September. That was great. I am a community organizer. I work literally around the corner at Mount Zion AME Church on the corner of 116th Street in Madison. I'm the director. I'm a youth minister there. I'm also the director of community initiatives for the organization that's housed in there, which is another church youth and family outreach. A lot of the work is community engagement work. A lot of my work is prevention work. I'll say it this way. A lot of my work is rooted in keeping people out of systems of incarceration in a preventative way. So how do we get to youth and how do we get to families ahead of the crisis, and how do we intersect at the beginning before it's the disaster and coming afterwards with relief, So the relief after is good, but we could also be more preventative in our approach. So that's the work that I do. My life has brought me ups and downs, from school to prison to school to ministry to community board and community service work. So I have a lot of life experience. I'm very much excited about learning from a lot of you. Brother Chance has already got me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tap into a lot of his. So I'm hoping to learn more from all of you all. While I sit as a chair, I'm not the boss here. I'm just going to guide us in the right direction and make sure we're not going in left or right, but that we're moving forward. So definitely bring what you have to the table, and please don't feel like you can't. I'm very opinionated, but that doesn't mean I won't listen. So please, and also ask other board members about me to give you some perspective on the working relationship. But at the end of the day, I really just want to work. I want us to actually show up for the community, because I'll just be honest, the community board don't really do nothing in East Harlem. And if you ask the members in East Harlem, they'll tell you that. Like, what does the community board do? They don't even know, and that's bad. It's bad because it just shows that we're not showing up the way we need to, and that's not to us in this room. It's just what has been, and we are working our way out of that. So a lot of the work of this committee has been to be more present, and I'll get into that more. But that was my long introduction. You don't have to be that long. I'll pass it to you.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the vice chair of Human Services. I lived in East Harlem for 10 years. I just moved last year to the South Bronx, but I'm like one stop over, so I'm here like every day. So I work at Mount Sinai Hospital, so in the district. I'm the education program manager for our global health partnerships, which seems like it wouldn't involve anything to do with East Harlem, but we also consider local, global, with diverse populations and immigrants. So some of my work does take me throughout East Harlem. I also volunteer in some of the emergency departments in East Harlem, responding when folks visit the ED for domestic violence or intimate partner violence or sexual assault. What else? I also work at Columbia School of Social Work. I teach there part-time, and So let's see, coming up, I would love for us to focus a little bit on what has trickled down from the federal government. I think sometimes we think being in a big blue city that it's not impacting us, but I see, at least in my work at Mount Sinai, that it is. And I think if we can be proactive starting now, because it's only gonna get worse in the next 3 years, that's something I would love to accomplish, especially in healthcare with care for trans folks, vaccinations, making sure we're keeping those up in the community. That's something I'm really interested in the next year to work on.
Thank you.
Gavin, Chancellor Gray, you can call me Chance for short. Like I said before, I am an emergency manager at NYCHA. I live right here in East Harlem, right here on Fifth Avenue, between 116 and 115. I've been there since 2019. I moved to New York, Harlem specifically, in 2015. I'm originally from South Carolina. Human services has always been something dear to me. It's part of the reason why I got into emergency management. Disasters is something that I've always fascinated about me. And so I always wanted to make sure the people are good. I worked with FEMA before and I've been boots on the ground, so I've seen what disasters have done to people. But not just that, living here, I used to work for a nonprofit in Brooklyn, giving out services similar to what Housing Works does. So it's just interconnecting with me. And I don't know, it's my first time being on like community board type things. So I guess I want to see what I can do to help and help any and everyone, especially since I'm here, I live here. I want to leave my mark here.
Oh, you want me to find?
Who are you?
Okay, on the wall. So okay.
Marlene is our staff liaison, just in case you were wondering, and she does not speak during meetings.
You make it so. I do the background work and you facilitate, like you actually make my job
She
easier.
is driving this train.
I love that. So my name is Robin McGinty. I am an educator, scholar, activist, PhD. I grew up in Johnson Projects, right here on 114th Street and Lexington Avenue, 1839. I am also formerly incarcerated, so it gives me great pleasure to be able to come back and to give or whatever. So despite the, how do you say, the trope, this is a very vibrant, rich community. I think I am an example of that. I mean, so despite the idea of marginalization or whatever, that's not true, okay? This community, even though we exist at the edges, it is central to when we talk about, I'm a geographer. So the notion of policing, under-resourced, and, when you talked about the building, being blown up, I had, people that I knew who lived there. And so for me, it's really an opportunity to give back. And I mentioned this the other night, this notion of reciprocity. So, what can I do to contribute in a generative, capacious manner? So I should also tell you I've worked with Isaac, like on the low. Well, maybe it wasn't on the low, but I've known him. And especially in terms of the Center for Justice at Columbia University. So my experience and commitment and love for my community is what drives me. So I'm happy to be here. I probably can't stay the whole time because, I have some other things. So my book will be coming out, another book actually, sometime next year, A Labor of Livingness, oral histories of formerly incarcerated Black women, because I think that's a story that needs to be told and shared. I think that's about it. Robin?
Okay, Robin, thank you. It's kind of hard to follow that. I'm Robin Stration. I'm actually a public member of this board, which means I choose to be here. And the way I got into it was I worked for a nonprofit called Search and Care. We specialize in helping older adults remain in their home as long as possible with a variety of free services that remove impediments to their independence. And the reason I came here many years ago, over a decade ago, was I wanted to present at a full board. I'd been at my local community board, which is Community Board 8, some of their full board meetings, and people complain about things like this. The cars take up so many spots, where the buses are, there could be more parking spots, or the dog park in the park needs cleaning. Whereas the first board meeting I came to here, people were really angry that a liquor store opened up within a block of a school. And I love that advocacy and passion, which I think is in the fiber of this community, and it's so attractive. So I came here originally and presented at a full board trying to recruit volunteers, and the chair at the time recruited me. And here I am. The other thing I do besides work with seniors in a variety of services is I run an empowerment program for teens at a local high school in East Harlem. The funder is interested in preventing teen pregnancy, and the way we get there is by building confidence and helping people find their voices. And Isaac has been a tremendous help for me, being a mentor in the program.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, hello, I'm Hayward Mouton. I am a licensed clinical social worker here in New York. I serve as the Senior Director of Programs for a nonprofit, Our Children, in Long Island City. I am been in social service my whole career. I've done child welfare, I've done severe mental health, I've done residential, I've done shelter life, I've been a therapist. So I've seen it all, and I moved to New York 4 years ago from DC, and I think I just wanted to have I started in multiple roles, all the way up to executive leadership and all that good stuff. And I think I came to New York and I just wanted to do something bigger that was volunteer. And so I'm here. And so my goal, I think, and is one, bring my wealth of knowledge in human services, but two is one, hold our nonprofits and other organizations that get funding to provide service accountable for the service that they're supposed to provide to the community members. And then two, not create a space that we don't depend on our big organizations to do the work. And hopefully we do the work, which is, if we see things, we create initiatives and we do it. We need the community to do it, because I don't want to, my thought motto is, I know what people go through, and also I don't want to live if I can't live in certain things, I know other people don't want to live in, and the people that need services really need to get those services that they really need. So we're just holding them accountable. A lot of nonprofits get the funding to do the work, and where they at? They're not out here. You don't see them on 116th doing the work. You don't see them on 125th doing the work. I've seen them just hand out the things, hand out the free methadone, and hand out stuff, but they're not doing the real work, and we have to hold them accountable for what the taxpayers are giving them the money for.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Valerie Ponte. I'm a retired city worker from HRA. My job as a caseworker is dealing with benefits for the safety net program in Manhattan and Bronx. I worked at Rikers. I worked for the Department of Mental Health and affordable housing. I know how a lot of these programs start out very vigorous and they start out well, and like you said, somewhere they disappear. I would like to see when we actually have like the community in one of these big auditoriums talking to us, we're up there, and they're telling us what they really need, instead of us sitting around a table deciding what they need. I'm enjoying my retirement. And I'm going back to school to learn about this AI, which I was telling Robin, so I don't get left behind. And I enjoy coming here, nice group of people that meet every time. Glad to be here with all of you. And Isaac is with his team. I'll leave them, we have a good team here, do a lot of things interesting, and learn a lot of things from each other. Glad to be here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcel. Some of you know me, my second year. Some of you don't. Nice to meet you all and welcome to the community board. Isaac, thanks for having me back. About me. Well, I was born and raised here in Harlem, on the west side and on the east side. I don't have a favorite, but I am here on the east side. I originally joined the community board because I wanted to start a non-for-profit, and I still have that dream, although I believe my target audience has changed after spending a year here on the board. I'm a student. I love to learn. I love to travel, and I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I've done some activism too.
I'm an artist, so I get it. I mean,
You get it?
yeah, so, yeah.
Right, so combining all of those passions into one is, give me a prayer. I've been part of a mentoring group since 2014. I actually started off as a mentee when I became a mentor, and that program is on the west side. One of my goals is to bring it to East Harlem. So just be on the lookout because I think things are working in that direction. I love to network and meet people. I love to give back and volunteer. I spend a lot of time doing that, and I'm just happy to be here. I believe that in life you could either be part of the solution or part of the problem, and I look for opportunities to be part of the solution, and I'm grateful for the community board to give me that.
Hi, my name is Zara. I'm a new member, and I'm sorry I was late. I thought it was at 6:30.
I figured that, you came on time at 6:30, so you were technically on time. It was. We're the only committee that meets at 6, just so y'all know.
I was thinking 6:30 too.
Yeah,
Because I actually finished work at 6. It's a bit of work
is
for
that
me.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyhow, we can talk with you later after. Yeah. Sorry about that. And so I'm very excited to be here. And by training, I'm a biologist. I work in cancer research. I am an immigrant. I came to the US when I was in high school. My family moved here. I believe that given the right opportunities and support, everybody can excel. And that's why I wanted to join this committee. So we can help our youth, we can help our immigrants do better, incorporate in the life of the US and all the opportunities you have here. So yeah, that's why I'm here, and actually think that all of us together can make a difference. Yeah.
And you were on time.
I'm sorry.
You were on time. It's okay.
So hi everyone, I'm Janelle, new board member as well. Also an immigrant. I moved from the UK 12 years ago, moved to Harlem 5 years ago. Have a young family, 2 little boys. My husband is a doctor in the area as well. And I work in finance downtown, and I spend a lot of my time, part of like the giving back of our company is to help mentor underprivileged youth so that they can kind of, you know, be prepared for interviews, get into like the system so they can, if they want to join the corporate world, they have an opportunity to get there. And then as I was doing this, like, you know, I live in an area that has a lot of opportunity, a lot of challenges, and I was actually talking to a former board member, and she told me about the community board. They didn't really know much about it actually until I spoke to her, and she suggested that, you know, I should probably look into it as something I was interested in doing. And I applied, and I'm thrilled that, you know, you guys accepted me on and like ready to work.
So I just want to state for the record, I had nothing to do with choosing y'all.
You can take the credit.
I would love to. I would love to. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say it. I'll be very honest with you all. It joys my heart to hear everything all of you said, because what I heard was a group of people who are servicing people who are the most vulnerable out there. And I also heard that we need to also hold those others who are also serving them accountable as well. And I think essentially that's the work. You know, what I'm particularly excited about is the area of expertise we have in this room now. So we'll be able to get a lot done. I also hear people wanting to work. A lot of the committees, so I'll say this as we're transitioning into our budget conversations.
Yeah, you got the person that's on.
Who? Oh, Tanya.
Yes, I'm here. I said they forgot about me.
I'm dropping a little blind right now.
I'm
sorry.
dedicated
Please.
on Zoom, no matter what. My name is Tanya Phelps. I moved to East Harlem when I was 18 years old. 19. After my first year of college, I moved in with my aunt who lived in Franklin Plaza in East Harlem. And then I fell in love with Harlem and, resided ever since. Anyhow, I'm an educator. I do a bunch of community service, a lot to name. I'm a part of several organizations, but my passion is the youth, inspiring youth, making them reach their highest potential. And I've been doing that kind of work for the past 27 years.
Thank you, Tanya.
You're welcome.
And please forgive me, I apologize.
No worries.
So what I was saying was just that that is, again, you just added more onto that cake. Thank you so much. So just some of what I heard in the room was being responsive to some of the government impact right now. I definitely agree with that in areas where I didn't think it would trickle down so fast. I can see it in a lot of ways. I can also see it. Here's something I want to just name early on. One of the things that are directly exacerbated right now at this time is stigma against homeless people, people who are in the streets, people who are just, I guess we'll just say that. There's a lot of stigma is a huge thing that, so we've already had to deal with I'm gonna speak transparently. So we have even, as early as recent as last week, after, anybody in here in the housing committee? So the housing committee had a meeting last week and they met they heard a presentation on a new supportive housing unit. And apparently there always are people in the community who don't want what they would say is the people that come with these sort of programs in this community. And the language has gotten worse, and it's really, I'll bring some of it back because we have to talk about this more explicitly. But there's a lot of stigma against the very people that I heard all of you in this room serve as well. So it was very interesting to hear that, because all of the people that you all serve in the work you do are also under that umbrella of being stigmatized because they hold some sort of vulnerable identity intersecting somewhere or another. But that is one of the things that as board members I'm going to encourage us all to do, is just check our bias so that we're not perpetuating stigma as we're in conversation. Also, so one of the biggest problems I inherited here as chair a few years ago is that no one would work with the community board. And the reason no one would work with the community board is because the leadership there were a few community board members who, when they would get people to the table, they would just attack them, because of the issues, right? So we do want to hold people accountable, but there's a very respectful way we can do it. And we're all professionals and we're all intellectuals, so we can talk about this and we can call you out the same way professionally. And that's what, so that's been the tone. So I've been working over these past few years to build relationships. The events that we do bring out people, bring out organizations. The event we did last year around the Addiction Forum brought out at least 20-something organizations together with people who are dealing with addiction, testimonies, panels, a lot of gathering around solutions. How do we come up with solutions? So my work is always to bring us together. So this coalition building is a part of my work, networking and coalition building, bringing people together. So in that bringing people together, there is the mindfulness of we want them to stay at the table. When we work hard to get someone like a commissioner at the table, we don't want that to be their last visit. We want them to say, hey, I'll be back with some updates, because that's better for the community. Sometimes folks think, oh, let me take this opportunity to take this shot and tell them about how horrible they are. I'm sure they know that already. I'm sure we can let them know that there's a way we can also do that, but we don't have to. You understand where I'm going with this. So there's a way that we need to do work, and I can guarantee you that this committee will run different from all of the other committees. I guarantee you that, from how long our meetings are to how we work. And that is because a lot of the work, it is because of how I'm going to push us. And I'm going to push us to be active, to not just vote on things, but how do we do multidimensional advocacy? So how are we not just advocating with what we vote on, but can we actually make some calls for some things? Like, there's a lot of us in this room, some of us know some people who can actually get something to happen, get some movement. How can we use what we have to leverage some actual change in this community for the members in this community? We want people to, we're not the solution, but we have access to some solutions. We have access to information. We have access to resources. A lot comes to us. You guys are going to see a lot of people are going to come to us. And in this committee in particular, people are going to come here willing to give and share, because they understand now the culture that has been sort of built here. So we want to leverage all of that for our community members, right? How do we get, people coming, hey, we do this, we do that? Good. Because I know some people over here who need this and need that and need that. So how can we be more active in our projects and our, I guess I'm kind of getting into our goals a little bit, but I'll get back to the budget. Events. Last year we did an addiction forum in December. This year I want to do another Building Bridges event. And this year I was thinking about families dealing with children who have behavioral health issues. So that's not written in stone. So I would love to talk with you all, in a little while about what is an event that we want to pursue this fall. We can, organizations will come out. I would love to have something I can tell y'all, show y'all what we did last year. We have a whole website on it. I shared it in that email that I sent you all. So I would like to continue that theme of bringing resources together for people. I don't know, and maybe I'm being ahead of myself or just being, I don't know, but I don't know any other events that the community board puts on that brings together so many organizations and people. So that is something I want to continue doing. I want us to continue bringing the resources together into the community. And I think also in our approach to our organizations, we can, I think there's different ways to encourage them to understand the urgency in them doing what we're asking them to do, and them understanding the perspective we're coming with, because there is a sense of urgency that we do want them to operate with after they come and talk with us, right? Because we are technically the representatives of the community, right? Of course, we don't represent the whole community, but we're going to do our best to represent the fullness of what we know East Harlem to be. So our word means a lot to the people who come and present before us. So it is important, what we say, how we say it, and how we use all of that information. So I just wanted to sort of ground us in some of that. Any thoughts on any of that? Want to take it any further? Cool. Yes, please.
I just have a brief thought.
Yes.
And it had to do with, I really like what you said about holding organizations accountable. We can sit here and have many different entities come to us. They all want something from us. And I believe in collaborating. So I've seen opportunities many times. And what I don't like is when I call somebody from one of those organizations just to open a conversation, and it's impossible to get to them. And it makes me think, like, why did they waste our time if they're not really interested in growing something. So I'm happy to be part of that effort.
But I think it's a multidimensional advocacy. At one point, yeah, we have to hold these organizations, and it's the way we do it. But as we have these conversations, if we are seeing that they're not providing the service they need, that's when I might give the baton and say, okay, you might be going to DOMH to talk to such and such about this person has a contract with us, and we are not seeing any case managers out there, not social workers, because we're not attacking the person sitting in front. But we're having this conversation while we have people in the DOMH office having conversations about what they're not doing. And so it's like, it's hitting those, it's hitting all of those points. But even when you said about supportive housing, it's not that we don't need it. I'm a liberal, conservative social worker. I believe in boundaries with everything. And I believe in boundaries with everything with everybody, because we have to teach people self-independency, we have to teach people self-awareness. And there are some supportive housing buildings that they say they're gonna do case management, they say they're gonna do social work, but they don't. They don't. It might not be quality work, because it's not gonna be quality. So it becomes a hangout spot. And people walk past, I don't wanna get sliced, I don't wanna lose my life, I don't know what people are going through. I'm just being honest, but what I'm hearing the board does is we are the human services. So we should be working with DOMH to talk about what does quality service look like for a supportive housing? How do we calm the neighborhood down and say that we're on top of making sure that they have good quality work going to supportive housing? And that, and that if they have these issues, they can contact us. If they see people loitering, they can contact us, so then we can do our job. That's like that collaboration piece on a different level.
So one of the things, thank you for saying that. So one of the things we get a little closer, and we definitely talk to the OMH, but we get the organizations that are actually out here, and we get them to the table and tell them, hey, this is a community-specific request we have. We want to see these specific things, to that point that you're making. There was something else I want to say last week, but yes, that's what we've been doing, getting those organizations. I think with respect to, I think there are some organizations like On Point and a few others I want to bring into the table and have some deliberate conversations about with respect to this. Another thing that's happening is that words are becoming interchangeable. Social services and addiction services are becoming interchangeable, and they're not the same. Addiction services is one social service. And we have people saying we have too many social services in East Harlem. And that is a problem. That is a huge problem, because it is a narrative that people are running and trying to build statistics around. And no, we don't have, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was, but I didn't want to cut you
go ahead.
off. No, I think that, you're exactly on point. I was speaking at Wesleyan University some months back, but the idea, if you ask people what they need, they're gonna tell you. So it's not about the prescriptive, right? You cannot come in to a community and like, oh, this is what we're gonna do this, and why don't you just act, there's so many methodologies, if you will. You can do polls, you can do surveys, this and that. So this notion about accountability is like supreme, all right? Because oftentimes we have, on point, I forget. I think that's really, and they're getting a lot of pushback or what have you. But that was something that folks needed.
You understand?
And they asked for it. Right, so it wasn't the idea, and I think, when you talk about language, we're talking about criminalization. It's not about stigma, this and that and the other, whatever. We're talking about criminalizing homeless people, poor and working class communities, specifically of color, in this geography, in this, I don't know what happens in West Virginia or Idaho or what have you, and that's not to, how do you say, demonize or stigmatize those, but here in New York City, specific to Harlem, I mean, we have a history. And so even this notion of self-help or what have you, we have always done that. That is the resistance in terms of the idea of like you know, the bootstrap piece or what have you, that's bullshit, right? We are, I'm sorry.
Right, no, talk to me.
You know,
Please talk to me.
we are being targeted. And so when we talk about class, that's what we're talking about. And race is lived through class, right? If you understand what I'm saying. I mean, whether it's in Great Britain, or I'm not sure where you're from.
Albania.
Okay, Albania, but, again, this notion of the class piece. And so we need, I think, in terms of that, again, this intersectionality, this interconnectivity. And so we're talking about collaboration and solidarity, that's a class piece. And even though we're talking about race, space, and place, Harlem, I lived in DC too, in all 4 quadrants or whatever. So I think that we have to, how do you say, we have to expand our vision. And I think accountability is what time is, because again, we have, I work for Center for Court Innovation or whatever, right there, but I don't think that they ever really polled or surveyed the community. They do a lot of great work, don't get me wrong, but I was thinking too, they also serve as gatekeepers. And so how do we begin to, we don't have to personalize stuff with them, but how do we begin to adopt a more expansive mindset?
Thank you, Robin. I'm going to take that as our opportunity. So 2 things I'm gonna do right now, time check. The goal is to get my goal. So usually, I usually try not to, we never hear past 8:30, am I right? We never.
You're correct.
Well, I'm correct,
You're
right?
correct.
That's how it's on, we're being
You're
honest.
correct.
I'm like, yes.
We don't do 3-hour, 4-hour meetings. It doesn't take that long to get work.
That's what happened.
That's
I was on another committee and that's exactly what happened.
that's why I told you that this committee is not run like other committees.
The other ones you have to have a
I mean, they
discussion.
crammed everything in.
There's a
and
way
like-
that we can talk and have good discussion and table it. We don't have to- I got kids, so I can't get home, so we all can, and I'm sure you all want to get home. It's gonna get cold. So
That would be nice.
nobody, so you don't need 2 meetings a month that just have you all night. Full boards gonna have you all night. Let's transition into this budget conversation. I'm going to just walk through this like none of you have been, nobody knows anything, just so that I know I went through everything. And then let's discuss a little bit these budget priority requests, because what we need to do is prepare our requests for next month. Am I correct, Marlene?
Yes.
Yes, so we will be next month on the floor preparing our requests. We can do it beforehand, or we can do it on the floor. Let's start here. So I'm gonna do this in no particular order, so I'll be all over the place, but I'll give you all of the information. There was a set of documents that was sent. Let me put it on the screen. Sorry.
No, this,
I'll
I see
take
some.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, those are the, yeah. Can I,
It was a few, like budget. One was like a capital, the other one was.
This committee doesn't do capital, that's development.
Yes, I'm gonna
Yeah.
explain all of it.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm on there now.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
I haven't read all that
You
stuff.
have it? Everybody else?
Yeah, this,
Yes.
okay.
4 pages.
So yes, we're gonna walk through all of those documents. So to Marlene's point, we don't do capital expenses. Capital expenses are like renovations and structural things. Now, if there is a capital expense, you guys, if we have one, then we can make one, but, I don't know if we have one, but listen.
Oh, no, I read it. You said out.
No, I'm just saying, so you have, I encourage you all to come back to budget requests. If you see something and you know something, you think of something, please bring it back.
Yeah, so I should, correct that then.
So the human services, I've been here for 6 years and I've never seen the time I've been here, capital requests come out of human services.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it hasn't been precedent since I've been here. But that doesn't mean that the community cannot have capital requests.
Right. But capital is more building and
Yeah.
big structural things.
And it may be a structural thing in East Harlem that we like,
My
hey, we
home.
think the city.
Thank you.
Right. Let's be creative and open-minded. So I'm going to, so let me say this. So during the, so for the budget requests, now these are requests, these are budget requests that we are making for the mayoral's budget. This is for fiscal year 27 that we are working on this year, that we will work on. I am going to recap fiscal year 26's priorities, just so we're on the same page about what year it is. I don't have the page in front of me that tells me the full year annual process. I usually do have that. It is in, let me backtrack for a second. Has everyone tried to access the community board drive? Have you gotten it?
Yes.
Yeah. Has everyone gotten it? Good. So if you just go to shared drives, community board 11, go into the human services committee drive. I am a Google Drive user, so it is very organized. So you will go in there and find whatever you need to look for by name. So whatever you may think you're looking for, you'll find your way to it. But in the budget area, it has the annual, it tells you the budget process. So what's happening these months, what's happening these months. So there's like steps, things like that. And I'll pull it up when someone asks a question, I'll pull it up. So right now we are in the phase where we are going to, we have to make our budget request for fiscal year 27. Last year, we made our budget request and we enhanced our budget request a lot last year. So the responses that we've gotten are different than some we've gotten before. Some of them are the same, but some of them are different. And the difference in what we did was we were a lot more, a lot of the responses came back like, we need rubber stamps, we need more research, we need this, we need that. So what we decided to do within our explanations be a lot more informative about, hey, based on this research, this is the need. So they couldn't come back with need more research, right? So we're getting different answers now. So we'll be going through some of that now. But one of the things I want to say is that there are specific organizations that our committee asks for money from. Just so we know, there are different city agencies for different committees. Our committee asks for requests from, if you look at the screen, the first organization is the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Now, there are different types of needs, and under those different types of needs, there are request types. Just so that we're on the same page about how because when you make a certain request, we have to make sure that if we're making a request to DOH-MH, we need to find the correct need and request type when we submit it, so that it doesn't get kicked back because we didn't put it in correctly. So DOH-MH is one organization that we ask. Another organization is Health and Hospitals, right? Same concept, different needs and request types from Health and Hospitals, right? Another one is the Department of Homeless Services. So DHS is another city agency that we can make budget requests directly to. So when we make certain requests, it's important to know who we are asking, because we may draft up a request and send it to DHS, but it should have went to HRA. And they'll kick it back and tell us that, and that's a whole year down that we didn't get a real response on it because we submitted it the wrong way, So this is important to just being clear on who we're making our request to. Another organization that we make requests to, like I mentioned, was HRA, the Human Resources Administration. You all have this document in your email, so I'm not going to go through it too thoroughly because I don't want to keep us here all night. But essentially, please take a look through these needs and the request types so that you can see what areas, how you can think about funding requests. Because I definitely want you guys to think And think about once you hear the request we already came with, I'm sure that's gonna give you some ideas on some different requests that we can be asking for. DIFTA, yep, yeah, no, you're good. And then the last one is DIFTA, the Department of Aging. And this is a organization I know Robin has so much to tell us about. Robin is the person I love to consult on DIFTA issues, but that is this is for the Department of Aging. So a lot of our senior support comes through DIFTA.
We would like it to.
We would like it, yes, thank
Right.
you, Robin, yes.
But I wanted to say,
Yes, ma'am, please.
also this notion of housing.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just scanning it, so I'm not really, you know, but that's a biggie. And
Yeah.
that's also about social service, because we're looking at gentrification.
Yeah, so DHS is a place, Department of Homeless Services.
But HPD as well.
They're not someone we would make a budget request to, but that doesn't mean we can't advocate to. That don't mean we can't
Right.
email them. So right now, I'm just talking about the budget request and how we make, yes, ma'am.
So to answer your point, Robin, what has happened in the past is like if you see something that may go to another, it's under the purview of another committee, so what you're speaking about is housing. That housing committee will deal with DHS and HPD issues,
Okay.
right? So sometimes housing has like capital requests that they send to HPD and an expense request to HPD.
Got it.
Okay, so you can create a budget request and discuss it with your committee members and shoot that over to housing.
Okay.
We could do that. If we felt like we didn't want it to get like.
Well, the idea is that we're talking about push out, displacement. I mean, on 116th Street in East Harlem, folks have been given 90 days to move out because of the MTA, the expansion, eminent domain, if you will. That's a huge issue. I mean, so.
So,
I'm just
no,
saying.
thank you for that, Robin, and thank you for that clarity, Marlene. Yes, we can do that. We definitely can do
This will be going to hopefully a new mayor, right?
that. Amen. I didn't think about that.
Hopefully cross every line.
Thank you so much.
I'm like
You're so right about that. This will be going to the
Same
mayor.
thing, yeah.
Hey, Adam, ain't nobody going for him. I think the city is tired of him. But to your point, that is something that we should consider in being ambitious with our acts. We should limit that. What's up? I see you.
That's the senior
I think
piece.
we need
I mean, that's, you know.
We need to table a conversation, because even if he's not the mayor, because of the current executive branch, if they don't like somebody, all of these funds can be stopped or severely limited of who the new mayor is.
I got you.
I think that some of my colleagues and I have started having conversations about like, yeah, we don't want this person in office, but if another person comes in office and the executive branch doesn't like this person, and they don't have no ill will to laws, the funds will stop. It could stop immediately, limited. I just want to put that on the table, because all of these could be affected through federal funding.
Thank you very much.
They will be affected.
But thank you. We gotta have our balance. Get too hyped, waiting for the reality check. So we got too hyped, but we had a good way. Thank you very much. So there's another page that I have up here. This has all of the budget requests that came out of Community Board 11. This is a document that Marlene also sent you. I won't go through it. I'll just talk a little bit about it. It has all of the capital expenses, to your point, Robin, and then it also has the expense budget requests at the, like, going down on a few pages. So all of the human services requests that are here numbered, they are numbered on this document, but our number starts after the expenses. So I think that is page, let me tell you right now. It might be page 9. Expense priorities, yeah, so page 9 actually starts the expense priorities, and we have one at 11, and then you can see the rest of them here numbered, so if you wanted to see them within that full document. But that is all of the budget requests that has come out of this district. This is important, so you all know, and have a good sense of, you know, what this community board has been requesting and how it's been requesting. Also pay attention to how we write our requests versus other committees. So you can just do a little comparison, because you guys might want to bring one of the things Jen and I did is we both sit on youth and education. So when we enhanced ours, we went to youth and education the next day and dropped a whole bunch of requests for them too. And you know what I mean? And that's what you do, you know? Because I'll be honest with you, most people won't do it. Like y'all gonna see at other meetings, the chair's gonna do all the work and the committee members are gonna sit there and say yay or nay. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna definitely encourage y'all not to do that and lean in so we can have a variety of, you know, just a holistic perspective on what we are asking for. So that's this document. Please definitely look through all of the expenses so you can see what CB11 has been asking for. I do want to spend the most time on one. I'm gonna go click on the link for the survey. I'm gonna pull that up. And while that is up, since everyone has a copy of this document, we can just, if you all can entertain me and help me out, maybe each one of us can read a request. We just go around, that way we can all, thank you, I
Just
appreciate
so
it.
my perspective is clear, this is the fiscal year 26. This budget has already been approved, but this budget has already went through to the mayor.
That's right.
And so in this, will we see what we asked for from what was in the 25 fiscal year that we requested for the 26 fiscal year, what we didn't get?
So we're gonna see what we asked for. So, okay, we got responses for fiscal year 25 already. These are our responses for fiscal year 26.
Right. So will we see what we didn't get for our fiscal
Right now,
year?
we about to see
The numbers, the numbers.
We about to see, yeah, we about to see right now what they said about every request. We're gonna read the full request out, the explanation, and what they said.
Right, but the money, are we gonna see, like, in 25, there was $130,000, we requested an additional 60,000. Let me ask you a question first. Does the community board request a specific amount of money for increase, or do we just ask for an increase in fund?
These are good questions. These feel like budget need questions, but do you know?
Ask the question, I'm sorry, I was saying.
My brilliancy is only for a shooting moment.
Is there amount of money attached?
Yeah,
Is this amount of money attached? So is we're gonna see, we requested, when we were doing 26 fiscal year, we requested an extra 50,000. Did we get that 50,000?
Yeah, so it doesn't, your involvement is you have to remember that this body is advisory. So you won't see numbers. So for example, you would send a request to put extra staff for case management for an HRA initiative, right? So that then would go to the Office of Management and Budget and the Department of City Planning that deals with the city's budget and puts that over to the council and would tell them, okay, so this board is asking for additional funding for HRA. You all don't determine those numbers. You're just saying, please send money to this place because we need to see boots on the ground for the youth.
Okay.
You're not seeing actual
So,
dollar
no
amounts. I understand why you're asking that because you're hearing budget. I thought the same thing when I first started here and I had to learn the process as a staff to explain it to you all. Because it makes sense, it sounds like numbers, I'm looking at numbers, you're not looking at numbers. It's the qualitative piece of the quantitative conversation. You guys are doing qualitative work.
But if they were to give us numbers, most of them would be zeros.
It's advisory, like she said.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
Thank you for these good
A
questions.
lot of people think you come here to make the big difference.
Right.
Well, I knew it wasn't a big difference, but I thought my perspective might have been, we got it, like, if we saw the amount, we said we would like 40,000 more, no matter if we got it or not, but we were requesting a certain amount of money to go towards, we're asking for it.
Right. And what you can do is in the final, if you wanna read that long Excel sheet that comes out after adopted, that's also available on DCP's website. And you could read those numbers from fiscal year here to here. Was there a drop from ACS?
We should look at them,
You know what I'm saying? Was our ask heard, or did the numbers fall?
Right, so I guess then that would give a perspective if the government listened to the community boards. And then I guess my last question.
No problem.
That's my last question. Do all of the community boards in Manhattan kind of agree to, like, the different committees for each community board kind of agree to, like, we need to all come together for like one big to push for this?
Oh,
Or is
no,
it, it's
you mean
just,
like
it's your
all-
individual
no,
pocket?
You mean like all committees, like every board in the city coming together?
Like in
I wish.
like in Manhattan, yeah,
I
in Manhattan, and say,
They have like borough board meetings where the chair and the vice chair goes, and if your chair is not representing the community board, then everything we cared about is not going to that meeting. But that's the closest thing. I'm an organizer.
You also have, sorry, Isaac.
Yes.
You
please.
also have what is called, and it's about to start, borough consultations, where the heads of these agencies do come and listen to the DMs and the chairs of the boards to see what have you all requested. Right, so that's like on a larger scale, right? So Brooklyn will be doing it at the same time. Manhattan is doing it at the same time for each specific borough. The districts are coming together collectively.
Yeah.
But like each community board is like, the layout should be the same, but each community board doesn't have the same committees on it. You know what I'm
I see what
saying?
you're saying.
Like ECHO could be merged with permitting. For Board 11, economic development is its own thing, and licenses is its own thing. Another board, they may be the same. You know, and youth may be merged with human services. You don't really know, right? It's
Okay.
whatever works for the specific body.
Perfect.
I do want to say, back to your point about like the numbers part with the budget. I think part of the reason what we thought that, because I thought the same, was because of you're doing that interview with the whole Matt, the
Yeah.
whole Matt thing. One of the tasks, one of the group tasks was, hey, divide this money up. You got 100,000. Now you're supposed to divide it up.
Yeah.
So maybe something to suggest to the actual
Board leadership?
the board leadership
Okay.
is to remove that money aspect of it, because we have that mindset is
Right.
right when we talk about doing a
Also,
budget.
rate them for like, do you do low, medium, high priority or something like
Yeah.
that? So that would kind of be where that comes in of like,
Yeah.
which one would you maybe like give?
Yeah, so they ask you
5%.
to, and it's like you said, I just thought about that. That's where I got it from. They ask you to rank your priorities with all these folks from different community boards, and then agree to a dollar amount. They give you a amount of money, and then so I thought coming here, I'm like, oh wow, I get to actually say, you giving me $1 million, I want to see
Ooh.
35,000 or whatever go towards this versus
Okay.
go towards that.
That
And
makes
that's and then so that's what's mainly the whole grading of the interview.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm from another perspective, I was hired, so I wasn't appointed. I think you may want to speak to them about the statement. The statement is also another qualitative.
Yeah, that was another thing. I was like, some of this I was gonna parse for the next meeting, but it's cool. We also have a statement of district needs that we also draft, and that's a narrative. And that narrative, I'm gonna share with you all. That wasn't a part. I was missing a few documents in my long email, and that was one of them, the statement of district needs. Because I'm intentional about getting on that document and writing on it. One, because I'm a writer, but secondly, just with the work that we're doing, I would like for this committee to control the narrative about the human services issue in this community. I wouldn't want other people giving that perspective, and they're not the ones doing the work here with us, listening to the organizations. And you will see who comes to our meeting, who doesn't come to these meetings, and you will see how people still talk about these issues as if they were in this room. So I just want to just highlight that for you all. So some things I'm very intentional about, and the statement of district needs and ensuring that we are controlling the narrative is important for me. So I'll share that out with us, and it may need to change significantly, just considering everything that's been going on lately, but a lot of it is still remains the same. We still have a lot of the same issues that have been existing. Yeah. Was that what you were talking about? Okay, cool. So I have two things. I'm a multitasker. Again, I'm time checking us. We got about 40 minutes, y'all. That's our time. We're gonna hold ourselves to that time. The survey is up here. On the screen. I'm gonna first tell you my biggest issue with the survey. My biggest issue with the survey is that no one completes it. No one really does it. That's the biggest thing. So this survey was completed by not even 98 people, but 81 people actually finished it. And 17 still have started and didn't stop. But the reason that this is a big issue is because this is the survey that informs us about the district needs. So when people don't fill it out, we know less about the community. You know what I mean? We know less
How
about
is the
the
survey being distributed?
is our question. So we need to, this has been my thing with us too. Like this is why I did the open streets last summer or this past summer, so we can have more opportunities to get it out. But it's shared in a way that's it's online, but that's not everyone's not doing it, you know. And then a lot of people you really need to take a device to them and fill it out with them. I remember tabling and trying to get people to fill it out as well. So it's not as accessible as we would like it to be. You know, so that is a huge part in why people don't fill it out. I also think the time in which it's open doesn't help either. I think it should be open a lot longer than it's open.
What's the window?
Marlene, can you help me here? But it's like June to September, right? Yeah.
While
That's-
everybody's
How long
on
is the
break.
survey? Because if it's very long.
Because it's open at that time frame,
Mm-hmm.
because the budget for the fiscal year gets adopted by council in June, and then September starts the cycle again. So September starts, you are all in the preliminary phase right now. And by December 31st, all community boards must submit their statements and their statement of district needs and their budget requests to OMB by October 31. Probably, right? So that's why it's open at that time. You start from adopted to preliminary. So you guys are suggesting that it should be open
all year.
All
year round. We already looking a whole year too in the head. I think it should be open at least a year.
Is it shared to your social media or can it be placed in libraries?
It can be.
I believe it is on our socials and it's also
Yes,
on
but we
our
can-
website.
To the question I think you're asking, we can definitely individually take it and put it in places to ensure that it gets more exposure. Yes, that is something that I really wanted us to do as a committee, as a board period, but I only have like oversight here, so I can only encourage you all. But I definitely think we need to do that. And it hasn't even closed yet, has it?
Not yet.
Yeah, so we still have the opportunity to get more responses on this. So I think that's another thing I want to push for, that we can get some more responses because that doesn't even closely represent the demographics in the neighborhood. So I know it's a short time span because it'll probably be down. At the very least, we won't be looking at it past next month's meeting because we have to do our budget request. So at the very least, we can spend the next 3-4 weeks just trying to get it out to people, you know, sending it out. Yes.
Provided that we'll be attending the event on Wednesday, can we ensure that, I don't know, there are iPads available? I don't mind using my personal.
If you want to borrow some from me at the church, I will give you some.
Okay.
And then
When
we'll
would I
just bring them back. Just
Okay.
come hit me up.
Who creates the survey?
Marlene?
It's from OMB. It's
Okay, I
direct
mean,
questions
like
from
they-
the
okay.
Office of Management. Yep, it's directly from them.
And all community boards are answering the same questions.
So we can't.
That was another thing I was
Taylor.
asking for.
Can we tailor? Can we
Oh,
cut
can you
for-
tailor?
or
Sure,
is
I
it-
can bring them back to the board office. I'm listening. I'm gonna bring back half of these suggestions to the office.
They definitely bring them up. Yes.
Mhm.
I definitely have, like that question, I definitely said the same. I'm just like, what good is the survey if no one fills it out? You know?
And it's only 3 months, it's what, 3 months?
3
Well, that
months.
sounds like that's
Small
that's a plan. That makes them not really want to hear what the
So, but
community
to the
has
point,
to
I said
say.
I would pull up this process real quick. So step 1, so this is the mayoral's executive budget process for you all. This is also inside of that drive I told y'all, inside the budget folder, you have this in there. But step 1 is the preliminary budget. Each January, the mayor presents the preliminary budget. Step 2 is the council analysis and hearing. So from March to April, the council analyzes the mayor's preliminary budget and holds a series of hearings. Right, then we have step 3, which is the formal response. Every year, after holding a series of hearings to analyze the mayor's budget, the council releases its response as required by the city charter. Step 4 is the executive budget hearing. In April, the mayor releases the executive budget and updated proposed budget based on the council's response. And then step 5, we have in May and June, the council and the mayor negotiate adjustments to the executive budget, resulting in the agreements known as the adopted budget. So that's the process, y'all. Definitely go in the folder and look it over, match it to your calendar so we can advocate better for more of a better timeline, you know? That's part of the advocacy as well.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I just went to the CB11 site, and refresh it. I think it would be helpful if we can put it on the site as a landing page, right? So soon as you
Put it on the landing page?
Yeah,
Okay.
so soon as you get onto CB11, so was it right now? It says sign up for our mailing list at the top. Instead, switch that out and hey, submit do the yearly survey.
Okay.
And you know what, on that note, I feel there's some websites I manage that I can do that very same thing with what you just said.
Oh, like the forum?
I think that, thank you very much. I didn't even think about that one, I'll think about other ones, thank you very much, yeah. That also, so that website we have, and we'll talk about that more when we talk about our event. That website was meant to be a resource for us to have our own kind of website, because I know CB11's site is kind of tight, and as a designer, I like to, you know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I gotta make a site. So we have a Google site that can be flushed out strictly for us. It's already linked on our human services page, but we can get it, we can do what we want to do. We can tailor that. So that is something, and I will update that. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Brother Chance, for that. All right, so let me go back to, let's, if you will, let's really quickly look at this survey. Those okay, here we go. So pretty much just with these few responses, the top issues that we see here are affordable housing, civic engagement, and crime and public safety. I have to admit, civic engagement is not one I saw up here last year.
Yeah,
It was so high, so I'm actually very happy to see that, and I can't help but to think it has a lot to do with the government right now. So civic engagement is definitely a big topic, and that we need people to be more aware about voting, and who they should vote for.
I think there was also a very highly, there was a very highly publicized race for the council seat that was very contentious.
It was,
and I think that really turned a lot of people off.
Okay, thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
You're right, it did. So we did have, without going too deep into that, we did have a council race with, I think some of the people on there was Elsie, who did win. We had Rosie Diaz on there. We had Willie Lopez. We had the CB chair from the Bronx Community Board 1, Clarissa. Yeah, and that was, it got messy.
It got ugly.
It got messy, as most political races do. And I think that did, one of the things that I try not to do, and I want to encourage you all to do, is let's not entertain the BS, especially the politic BS. This is not going to be a space where we are playing politics. Just because I don't like a person don't mean I'm not going to work with their organization, stuff like that. There's a lot of little stuff like that that happens that makes working in East Harlem it puts a sour taste in people's mouth. So as much as we can avoid the messiness and just stick to the work and the people that we're trying to serve, that would be the best. You know what I mean? So just on that note. But any other, I really want to read these requests. Any questions about this survey? It's pretty much self-explanatory. Not many responses. I think what we want to do is come back to the survey next month after we've tried to get more people to fill it out. So that maybe we could, I don't want to put no pressure on us, but maybe we could try to get 3 to 5 people individually to fill it out. And that could be, I'm gonna go home and my wife is the first person I'm gonna tell her to fill it out. Because I'm sure she didn't fill it out.
Do we have access, for example, to develop like a QR code and print out and put it in like my building or another?
We have that already. If you want, we can give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because it's already on the QR code. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Any other questions around the survey? I appreciate you all wanting to get this out. And it's important, this research. Another thing on the topic of research, just with my background coming out of Columbia, I studied there and I worked there almost a decade. So research is a big thing for me. So it is important that we develop our own, qualitative information, because we are doing work and that should be sort of quantified and qualified, I think, in some way. I also think we need to develop research so that we have it to counter, in advocacy ways. So sometimes there's research posed at us and we don't have a counter. We didn't actually do any research, or we can't unwrap and unpack that BS research that they presented to us. So having a basic knowledge or just a base of, research knowledge, but also us pursuing our own research endeavors in the work we do. Like next month, when we're here, I'm also going to talk about the analysis we got out of the event we did last year, meaning all of the information that came from the panel discussions, the testimonies, and the resources given. And that will be a form of how we gathered information. So this is how we can say, well, we understand addiction from this place as well, because we did this event, we had this many people give us feedback in these ways. We want to be able to demonstrate that. So if there are ways that you all are thinking about ways we can gather information, participatory action research is all welcome here. So let's think about that. I'm an activist advocate, so like whatever y'all thinking to do, we can do it. Just this capacity, we all got full-time jobs, but let's do it. I think collectively we can share resources and share tasks to get some things done. So if there's some things we want to do, let's put our head to it, get it done, and we'll have that. And this committee does produce things, and you guys will see that. We do have tangibles that come out of the work we do. All right, so I'm talking a lot. I'm going to start the first request, number 11, and then maybe if you just go around, everyone just read one request. Let's keep the conversation on it to the minimal, just for clarity's sake, so we can get out of here. But definitely ask questions about a request if you have any questions. So number 11, the request, and this was a request to DOH-MH. The request create or promote programs to destigmatize mental health needs and encourage treatment. The explanation we gave was additional funding should be allocated to employ additional social workers to not only provide therapeutic services, but to also provide evidence-based groups and case management services. That was our explanation. The agency response was OMB supports the agency's position as follows. Agency supports but cannot accommodate. It says resubmit request. Explanation, there is a national shortage of licensed social workers and recruitment has been challenging in addition to civic service requirements.
Wow.
So that is, I've never heard an answer like that before. That showed me that there's not a computer reading our request. That's really what that showed me. So let's keep that in mind. We should definitely resubmit this. If we want to redraft it, let's consider it. But I think there's another issue that was highlighted here that we should think about what role we play in it, and that there's a shortage of social workers.
Well, I'm a social worker.
Yeah, and Jen is as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was just saying because it says additional traffic to employ additional social workers, but did we ask to increase current social workers' salary?
We did not.
We did.
We did not.
So is there a way that we can put that in?
Flag that for yourself, because that is a potential. Let's discuss that and see if that is a way that could be an additional request. Right? Yeah, I think that there should be city funding allocated to increase funding for social workers. So maybe the city has a budget that they allocate to organizations that have social workers to give a little boost in pay or something like that.
Because the median social worker, if you're not an administrator, at a LSN or LC, you're making between 55, 80. We're talking about LC to 80. That's like very low.
That's low. Yeah,
for an LC as well.
Yeah. So there we go. There we go. Perfect. Can we go to the next one? Number 20.
So other programs to address public health issues request. East Harlem has one of the highest drug overdose rates in New York City at 56 per 100,000 residents compared to the citywide average, 21.2 per 1,000, according to DOH. Increased peer support workers and social workers in high-risk areas such as 103, 110, 116, 125th Street corridors are essential for connecting populations to treatment. Peer support interventions shown to improve recovery outcomes will play a critical role in street-level interventions, reducing drug-related crime and barriers to seeking help. Further investigation is required. Is the response, contact the agency.
Actually, so further investigation is required,
I probably gave them the investigation.
Yeah, that was my question. What do you need?
If you provided specific areas.
Is it that you need to research what peer support groups to use?
well, they said contact the agency, so let's do that. We do have two people from, so this is the multi-dimensional advocacy, because we do have Pauline Ferrente, from DOHMH. We also had, Cheyenne, but Cheyenne, moved on, but she introduced me to the new person, so I need to follow up with them to find out, have them come and give updates, but.
I'm gonna say that they always are getting back to us.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
and they never get back to us.
Yeah, they don't, but you know what, I think, we.
If you wanna tell the truth, they're very, very lackadaisical in what they do.
Yeah, they are, I mean, it took DOHMH a very long time to give us the type of information we asked for, but I believe a lot of it had to do with how the information is being requested. You know?
Right, I was wondering too,
Yeah.
like maybe it needs to be emphasized that it's more than double the rate of drug overdoses as compared to others. And maybe also it needs to be explained, like support workers and social workers, do they really help with that? And if so, how much? Like, I think we need to be a little bit more specific.
Okay. Okay, no, that's great, so, that's one that.
You know, another thing they can talk about is this situation, drug in Harlem for over 60 years. The same thing, and it's the same thing over and over again. Too many programs, and they don't work.
So this is what I was gonna ask, is there a history that social work?
It's all about money.
They help or no? If there is, then maybe we can reference that and say that.
They know, this is what I'm trying
increasing
to
the
tell you.
number of social workers help, but if it didn't, then maybe we should ask for something else.
I have a question, for these figures, for these numbers that they proposed, because I remember last year we were talking about some of the facilities on the west side and other parts of Manhattan that were closed down, and a lot of people migrated towards East Harlem, a lot of people with substance abuse issues. Would you say that contributed?
Yeah, so.
That contributes to these high numbers?
So the way the programs work, and please, anyone with the knowledge, please jump into, but the way they work is that they place people in those, HRA places you in those, in the living room, the residential places, so we don't necessarily, as much as we would want to have, and the issue is that not just that the programs are being placed here, that they're not for the people living here as well.
Right.
So what happens is they'll place a place here, but they assign 80% of the people here are not from here, and 20% of the people can be from here.
So it's not necessarily East Harlem residents, it's just people who are being serviced in East Harlem, right?
You can say that, yeah. I mean, you become a resident when you live somewhere, but you can say that.
No, I'm saying the people who are being serviced for these programs, because let's say they don't continue to attend the program, or they relapse, and unfortunately, they overdose and die. Now they're counted as someone who passed, East Harlem resident who passed an overdose when essentially they.
Well, I understand what you're saying, if they weren't an East Harlem resident. I think there's different things. I think one, we have residential clinics, and then we have our walk-in clinics.
Okay.
And you have people coming from different places hanging out there, like, so they might be coming from different zip codes and just chilling there.
Right.
You might get arrested, something happen, and then I don't think unless they have an address for this area that it would be counted towards us as a stat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the issue still is that they're not putting, so my advocacy has always been that there are a lot of people in East Harlem who need services and will not get them because of the stigma associated with them because of all of this. But we're not actually but these programs are not servicing the people in East Harlem. They're actually bringing a lot of other people in here. And while I understand, because this is something we heard too, that people, places, and things. So a lot of what we heard in that forum with people dealing with addiction was that they can't heal in the same place they were drugging at. So
And that's not just drugs, that's healing in general.
So this creates even more of an issue because that's what DOH, MH, and Oasis essentially, because Oasis is the one who is the Office of Substance Abuse and Treatment. They are the ones who are approving organizations.
They're
and
licensing.
sending them here. They are the ones doing that. So, and that's a lot of the thinking, and that we send you here away from where you were at, and a lot of it is they're just sending a lot more in communities of color. And we're seeing more clusters than we would see in more affluent communities. Because I grew up on the West Side, 104th in Amsterdam, Columbus. There's programs over there, but it ain't that many. You know, and they're definitely not clustered that way. And when they are, they're hidden very nicely. You know, you don't really know them. They're spread out blocks apart. They're very different. You know, so I grew up on Broadway all the time, so it is different. So, yeah. Anything else? Yeah, this is a conversation we're gonna keep having. But I am confident with you all that we will definitely come to a better point, especially with what I'm hearing from you all now. I think we really need to look at this issue and how do we meet the needs of the people who need the services, but how, I think quality service, that moratorium document, I'll shut up after this, the moratorium document is an important document to look at to see what we asked for. So we said no more new programs until this happens, and that this was research, collaboration, accountability. So read that, because I think that's a good place for us to start with how we want to advocate for the change that needs to happen around this clustering of programs.
Can I ask you one? This is not specific, a more macro question. Do you have a calculation method to get your explanations, especially with UMH? Because UMH, they have a lot of organizations who are asking for more funding for whatever program they're instilling in their community. And are we bringing those people to the table as a collective to then get which forms of calculation? So anytime we do UMH, bring people together to talk about the ratio of social workers is this to this. This is the funding we're already, because everybody receiving low funding. Some might be preferred because they're bigger, some not as big, and they're not as preferred, but could do the real work. Because you have a big organization, the bigger you get, the more out of touch you get with the local staff. Do we have a calculation that we do to come up with the explanation that encompasses their voices as far as what ratio social workers, what their budget look like, what they're asking for increase for, that will help promote either the current programs they have or what innovative programs they're trying to do that the community board should support, and can explain. I think you did it well with the one with the power hygiene, the power and shower one. We might not say the word power and shower, but we need like this because of this program, this is what it looks like.
We don't, but we can develop it. There's a lot of work we have to do.
But that's just all doing.
No, I love it. Please, this is the work that because everything, we don't have to do all things together. Like we can break into teams and do justice.
Sorry, I also had a question. So I see, for example, a lot of requests go to Department of HMH.
Yeah.
So can the requests be ranked, like priority 1, 2?
Yes.
We actually do rank them, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we
That's
should rank
part of our exercise.
Yeah, I think ranking them. Next month, we will rank what we write. And I don't like it because I think all of them are equally important.
But
We do have to.
but it helps us
Also, That
prioritize.
makes sense. For
Yeah.
example, like if one is the main priority of what you want to invest in or you're requesting for.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But even on like side note, no even drawing us, no need to talk about it. The biggest issue we all have, which I told you, UMH is so big and they oversee so many things in the city that even schools, they can close the school down even if the Department of Education doesn't feel like something's a problem. UMH come and shut them.
What I'm thinking is that, just hearing you speak, I think that we should ask our DOH-MH representatives for specific information before they come. So like, hey, we're looking for, could you give us updates on these particular things? And I think Pauline can acquiesce to that. I think between the two centers that we have for DOH and we can get a lot of that, so thank you for that. I hope you all are taking those too. Because there's a lot coming out of this. This is good stuff. And we still gonna leave on time, so we don't read through all of this.
Yeah.
We're gonna read it at home.
I'm waiting for 24.
Number 24. Would y'all like to jump to 24?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No,
Don't do our 8 older adults.
Okay, we're about to read 23.
We had somebody that presented last. Did you? You did?
Was it?
About the peanut butter
One
syringe,
block, they
the
wanna
guy.
contract.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, for
So do we want to read 23 or go straight to 24?
I'll read 23.
Okay.
Number
Oh, yes,
23.
this is seniors, yes.
Request. Other senior center program requests. Explanation. East Harlem's growing senior population requires expanded services and culturally appropriate care. We request increased funding for bilingual caseworkers, in-home caseworkers, and translators who can assist in navigating medical, legal, and housing challenges. Additionally, funding should support culturally sensitive programs, including meals, English language classes, and wellness activities. By providing seniors with tailored support, we will promote aging in place and improve the quality of life for one of the most vulnerable populations in our district. agency response, DISTA. For more information, please contact the agency.
I see why you hate them. They always get these types of answers. We really got
I forget her name.
That's an organization we have to target and get here.
I work under DIFTA.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't working any work for DIFTA. I worked at Portland Council, who all their contracts was through DIFTA, and I met a lot of the commissioner because she was friends with the CEO. The only thing I see wrong in this request, we put too much in it, and it's not specific on one issue that's tackling aging.
Now, I'm glad you said that because that was something that was said as a thing that could prevent you from getting. So we welcome your help and helping with getting this a lot more clear. Putting all y'all work today. I like this information. This is great. We're gonna get a lot done. No, but seriously though, that's the work we should do for resubmitting this one. Let's make it more clear. That way we don't get that same response. Thank you.
So I'm guessing this is on Google Drive, so can we work on it and like?
Well, yes, yes. I will send you the document that you should draft, that you should work on. So I'll send a document that has a table with the old requests, which will be these, and then if you want to revise a revision.
Or track changes.
Track changes, whatever you want to do. Track change, I would prefer if you revise it. The track change is gonna take too long for us to all go through and, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's giving, like, for aging, because that's what they like, it's older adults, not the old people, they call it older adults now. One issue is I know is mobility. It's not a lot of good mobility, the concrete is uneven, so people can't leave their homes because of the concrete. There's no real accessibility for the Metro 116, yet you have an older adult housing, you have several older adult properties around here, so how are they getting to where from there, go to doctor's appointments? That's like specifically sticking to like one thing to focus on, like, what do we do to help mobility? We need better streets, which goes into who does the streets? Who's over the streets? DOT, like who keeps the street, who's doing the elevators,
Buildings.
Buildings, yeah.
Okay, can we read? I'm sorry, will you finish it down? I wanna get to 24.
24.
So does Chance.
No, I mean, the person was here to give the presentation for the number for 24. I thought we voted on that already.
We didn't vote on, we voted on,
The syringes or the thing up for the syringes.
Yeah, I don't think we voted on it. I think maybe they came and, if we voted on anything, it was just to acknowledge that they came. We didn't support anything or definitely not. Go ahead.
Alright, so this is for other programs to address public health issue requests. So it's provide funding for a dedicated team to regularly monitor and clean the perimeters of drug treatment facilities, ensuring safe disposal of drug paraphernalia. East Charlotte has experienced a rise in hazardous waste, including discarded hypodermic needles around treatment facilities and adjacent public spaces, creating serious public health risks. According to Department of Health, improper disposal of needles significantly increase the risk of needle stick injuries and the spread of infectious disease like HIV and hepatitis C. These efforts will protect residents and workers, promoting a safer and cleaner environment around essential healthcare services. Their response was, agency does not support but can address the need alternatively, remove requests. Explanation, contracted syringe service providers already clean syringe litter in their catchment areas. DOHMA has been working with Disney Sanitation to address syringe litter outside of SSP catchment areas and the Parks Department on syringe litters in parks and playground. Additionally, a new pilot program for syringe redemption is rolling out in 2025 and select areas across New York City to help with litter issues.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is investigate, find out about this new program.
So the new program, I was already doing it. So the new program is called Community Syringe Redemption Program.
Okay.
So it offers payment for the collection of used syringes. Participants can earn 20 cents per syringe and can return a minimum of 5 syringes and a maximum of 50 for up to $10 per day.
Can we,
Community
is there any contact information on this? Can we reach out to them? Because I would love to invite them to come.
Yes.
What's the role on this initiative?
It's called Community Syringe Redemption Program. It's by
The organization.
DOHMH. So they,
So that charity is in it.
so I'm about to say. So they have redemption sites and times. So most of them are in the Bronx. So for Manhattan, that's the one we speak for, it's in Highbridge Park, Manhattan, what's on 80th Street in Amsterdam. It's called Near the Show Van on weekdays, Monday, Thursdays, and Sundays are the times, but the time for them to collect is from 5 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. This is vastly different from the other ones where I'm looking at, where like Rufus King Park in Queens is 5 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And they're Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you got St. Mary's Park in the Bronx from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. A lot of these aren't. So for Manhattan specifically, there's only one location for redemption site.
It's nowhere near here.
It's nowhere near here. Also, that time frame is
2 hours in the morning.
2 hours in the morning.
Very limited when it's mostly dangerous to go outside, like.
Correct. And then so it's a whole mess. But they do have an email if you want questions about the program. It's called Harm Reduction Unit at health.nyc.gov.
Can you send that to us?
Yeah, I can send you the whole website. My thing is, so one thing I wanted to bring to the board is we need to potentially change the verbiage around syringe collection, right? So how we talk about there's no capital request that we don't do, I think we should do a capital request, but to health and hospitals instead. Because, so let's not think about, drugs using syringes. Let's just talk about type 1 diabetes, right? They use syringes as well. How are they discarding their syringes? Well, most people, they'll probably find like a old Gatorade bottle and put it in the bottle, tape it up, and then just put it in the trash. Or you can't go to CVS or Walgreens to dispose your needles. They'll tell you, hey, you got to buy this red jug where you can put your needles in and then you can mail it off that way. If we change that, the messaging around syringes and to make it seem like for everyday people, because if you put a syringe redemption box in someone, everybody's gonna think drugs, but if you change their verbiage, it's like, hey, you have type 1 diabetes, you can drop it off here. The reason I said health and hospitals is because you can place them in front of their facilities, kind of like how
Like a mailbox.
Like a mailbox or a composting, where people can just regularly just drop it off instead. And so that way, it's not under DOHMH, right? Because they're always, as we see down here, they're always, contact the agency for more information. We put it on health and hospitals. One, they know how to properly dispose it, right? That's one way, one solution, potential solution for that to happen. The cleanup, those same boxes that health and hospitals have, they can team up with parks and everything and put them in parks to make it more accessible for people to, because if someone can't get to, say, like Harlem Hospital or Mount Sinai because it's very far because of mobility issues, there's a park closer to them.
Right.
They can, I can drop my type 1 diabetes needles in there. So it's
I
just,
absolutely love the reframing of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very smart thing, because it open up the door for people who are using syringes and not for that. And I think it does take away the attention from one narrative about using needles. I also think that health and hospitals, I don't know, maybe maybe I'm being ambitious, but I think that they could see the value in it. I don't know if they
Totally.
do it. I think they could see the value.
They probably love appreciate the partnership.
The partnerships.
And there's a whole other consumer that they haven't mentioned, which is pet owners.
Yeah.
Who have to give their pets meds. We have a jar, don't know what to do with it.
So my brother Chancellor, can I challenge you to redraft? If you bring up something,
Your reward.
That's brilliant.
No, but that's important, and definitely we can lean in with you to support with the language. But I think even in the request, mentioning the partnership in ways that it can, because it takes. I think one way to do is inform them on. Oh, this is a way we could do that. I see a virtual hand. I'm sorry, I don't know how long your hand has been out, but
That's Corey Ortega.
Okay.
From Gibson.
Oh man, I never let you introduce yourself, man.
No. I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to raise my hand so you're aware before you close out, so I can chime in because I've been taking notes like crazy because I came here to work just like everyone else.
Well, I hope that meeting so far has been informative, man. I'm so sorry about that, man.
No, they've been amazing. Let me know. Just call on me when I can introduce myself and I'll go back on mute.
Before we close out, right before we close out, which will be in another like 5 to 10 minutes, I will definitely let you introduce yourself. Forgive me, man. I appreciate your patience too. Yes, please.
Because 25 is the same as 24.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, I think is what amazing thing is that's how we talk about it and spread the information. But I think is why the response they gave was we didn't see what they already had in place to then show why is it not working for our community.
Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, well, because I want to do as well, just go to Highland Park one morning and see if people actually are there. One is the band out there, and two, are people actually know about this? I've never heard of this program until tonight when I went to look it up. And that means that something on the OHMH, they're not promoting that, or they maybe are promoting, but I'm not just in that community of where I'm picking up syringes.
But how they're picking up syringes, and then they should bring to the table. If that's your new program, okay, great. Then let's talk about it. The community board, asking them questions of how are you operating? But I think we missed it. They because we didn't do the research first and see they had something out. That's why I think they responded. Yeah, the way they responded.
This is good. So I wanna just.
Let me see something.
Yes, please.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'll interrupt when I have it. Sorry.
Okay, good. So what I was gonna say is, I appreciate. Are there any other ones that you guys have looked through and flagged that y'all want to talk about really quick, rather than reading through all of these? Because I am going to send these. I do want you to read through all of them. I'm going to send it back in the document where we can start to revise. I definitely agree with the research before we write, all of that stuff. I think writing the most informed request is the best way that we can, at least try to get to some funding. But I love, personally, I love what I'm hearing because I know that we are thinking strategically about how to get the resources. So
And could you also provide a couple of examples that were approved?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some research for that. I will.
Jen, 49 was the big.
I need your help with that one, Marvin.
Which was the
request
food
that actually got
resources.
approved. All I've been seeing is denials. Right. Okay, so really quickly, y'all, we needed to talk about, we kind of did this already, goals. Some of what I heard from you all, and these can be the goals, if you guys wanna, if you feel I can just draft them as goals. Some of what I heard from us is responsiveness to some of the government impact and some of the issues we've seen trickle down in our community. I've heard accountability alongside task sharing, so working together with organizations to get things done, not depending so much on big business to get it done, but us working together to get things done. So I wrote that up as coalition building and task sharing, but also heard accountability there. I also heard doing a community needs assessment event where we could actually just be asking people, you know, I heard something just like, why don't we call people out and just ask them what they need so we can get that information. I also heard youth and adult and young adult support, as well as immigration support. So I could re-articulate these as goals, as, you know, some of the things we want to do is, one, we want to do research on existing programming to enhance our budget requests. That could be one goal. It sounds like that's what we're going to do. We're going to do, rather, research and enhance our existing budget requests. So that can be one goal. Another goal can be to just identify our next steps for multidimensional advocacy in the areas of, I think we listed a few things: fire safety, needle exchange, things like that.
And this is the goal for the full year, or just?
We're gonna list it as a goal for the full year. Yeah. That's how we're gonna list it as a goal for the full year. I don't know how long it's gonna take us to get there, how quickly we can get there, but it'll be a goal. It'll be something we have to look towards to do. Does that make sense? That's it.
No, I'm thinking, like, if the goals are, I hear macro, like the bigger
You
goals.
are getting macro. I'm not.
No, but I'm saying it's like, or do we create goals for we want to see change in this community? Like we want to see in 3 months, or 6 months, we want to see clean streets. We want to see, or you know, in 8 months, we want to see that there are
Short-term and long-term goals.
like our short, not even just short term, but like it's hard for me to say what issue that we want to tackle like the next.
Yeah. So I want to keep us away from getting micro.
Okay.
I want to keep us away from getting micro. No, only because you keep the freedom we have to get micro on our own. We don't want to commit and say in 3 months we want to see clean streets, and it took us 3 months to get the person in the room that we're going to help facilitate that. So just having the goal as a vision, not as that's just so that on paper we have some goals down. We can determine specific timelines on everything we just talked about. That is our choice to do. These goals are just for the board to have some goals coming out of this committee. Is that cool?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. We don't want to, we can commit to those things ourselves. We don't want to commit to them to everyone else.
Isaac?
Yes, ma'am.
So I looked, it happened from the officers level. So 25's explanation from the board, from the board, it was different. So I just moved it in, I'm about to move into your document on the board member drive.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be the same as 24, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's what y'all was saying.
That's why I stopped. So I'm gonna change it so you guys can see it, the proper explanation that goes with a different request.
I think, I think what I would love to start next month's conversation off with is you all's thoughts, feedback on the responses and changes that we should make. Not so much your feedback like, hey, we should do this, but if you already thought about we should do it, let's go ahead and start drafting that. And let's talk about it on the floor. Because we can make those, we can adopt those things right on the floor. And I definitely want you guys to take ownership of this. Definitely don't, just because it's here doesn't mean it has to stay the same way, or it has to continue, or, and just because they said remove the request don't mean we gotta remove it. That's another thing. We can articulate, re-articulate, we can do what the hell we want to do. That's our choice, but that's their recommendation to us. So that's just something to say. Yeah, any thoughts on goals? I'm just gonna give us some real broad ones that came out of this conversation so that we just have a sense of vision, but I'm hoping that our goal is really to start to, one, do the research so we can have better requests, make that change. And because that change, beloved, is not just the request change. We're going to talk about that change at full board and why it's important. That changes the narrative for people. You know, so it's not just what we do here and say here. It's when we go to full board and I present this stuff, we are able to change the narrative of how we're thinking. So you guys are thought leading in this way. And I'll tell y'all, the Human Services Committee is very influential in this community because of the issues we have. So when you guys say something, professionals, people want to listen and they want to hear it. So this is good stuff. So I want to let the brother on.
Corey.
Yes, please, my brother. We are getting ready to adjourn this meeting. We're going to table this review of the explanations because everyone can do it at home. I think everyone, are we all clear on the process or the budget process? Is it clear?
Yes.
Cool. I hope I did a good job explaining.
Let me say something.
Yes, please.
So I don't need to be annoying or to be a stickler. So next month, Isaac will send you emails to have you go inside the document and make these changes. So next month, if changes are not made prior to the meeting or on the floor, they will not be made. What is here will be submitted. Like Isaac said, just because something is supported doesn't mean you have to remove it. You just keep reminding the agency to keep that funding. I want to be super clear about that. It will go forward. There's no do-overs in preliminary. You don't revisit preliminary in April because now you have an idea. You have to wait until the next fiscal cycle begins. Just so we're clear. You can go ahead, Isaac.
Thank you, Marlene, for that very much. Thank you. Any questions before I let Brother Ortega present himself for a few minutes? Brother Corey.
Hey, thank you, everyone. So let me give you the quick.
Thank you very much for your patience.
I'm sorry. Let me give you the quick background. Grew up Pentecostal, born and raised, lifelong Harlem resident, preacher back in my youth. Then I went to tenant organizing, then the New York State Assembly for back then, Assemblyman Keith Wright, then with veteran advocacy, national and local, then with the New York City Council under the Speaker for the Black, Latino, and Asian Caucus, and then between government and private sector back and forth. All that to say, I've been around, and some of the notes that I took is in response to some of the things you said. This is in regard to, for the vice chair, you said you wanted an update in terms of what's been trickled down or what's left trickled down in terms of, and I'm not sure if you referenced trans and certain vaccinations. I wrote those two down. If you can, and I'll leave my contact information, if you can give me the exact language, what you're looking for, I'll get it from Congressman Espaillat for you. Next, Assemblymember Gibbs sits on the Mental Health Committee. Let's use that. I believe there was someone who said we have to hold these organizations accountable. Well, a good way of holding them accountable is dragging them professionally into a committee hearing where we can ask them the question under oath, and they'll have people sitting to the right and next to them, and you can kind of tell if they're waffling, and even if they are, you can press them to give you something in writing thereafter. Next, with regards to the survey, I don't mind taking those surveys in our office as we talk to constituents, and better yet, we're having a barbecue and resource event this Saturday. If anyone from whichever committee or saints that would like to volunteer, we could work that event to get surveys. We're going to be giving out food, resources. We expect a lot of people to show, and it seems like this is the right target area to get the survey done. And then lastly, if there's an agency that isn't responding to you, feel free to hit our office up so we can send them a nice official letter on letterhead, CC the board and especially the committee to just nudge them in a polite way where I could say, hey, we sat in the meeting. We were also expecting an update from your agency. Is there anything you can tell us? And that's a nice jump starter to get them to be responsive, most rookie pick. That's it. That's all I got.
Brother Corey, it was the reason that you presented now, man. We needed to hear that right now at this moment. Thank you very, very much for saying that, man. Thank you.
Do you have more information about the barbecue on Saturday?
Yeah, what time is your event?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me read off the flyer because I'm seeing how you guys do things here. So
Yeah.
right flyer. Here we go. So you're invited to Assemblymember Edward Gibbs' annual Unity in the Community Barbecue and Resource Fair. Join us at Thomas Jefferson Park to celebrate the end of summer with a multicultural BBQ and resource fair. Fun, spades, kickball, tournament, raffles, elected officials, celebrities, entertainment, housing assistance, services for seniors, public sector, careers, and lastly, job training program and more. Saturday, September 13th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. at Thomas Jefferson Park, 2180 First Avenue. And I'll send, I don't know if I could put my information in the chat or I could just give my cell phone.
Yes.
I'm a text friendly person. My cell phone is 646-417-1875. If I don't pick up the first time, I do not pick up for phone numbers I don't know. Once you leave that voicemail or that text message, I will get back to you, most Ricky Tick.
Could you repeat that number, please?
Sure. 646-417-1875. I've had that number since
you.
St. John's University freshman year, and it's not going to change.
Thank you, sir. Brother Ortega, I'm definitely going to reach out to you. I'm about to send you a text message from my phone, and I'd love to just find some time offline to build with you too, man.
Yeah, you can come to my office. I'm a cigar smoker. I'm just putting that out there. But I also love coffee just because of the way I was raised. So cigars or coffee are always good with me.
Cool.
This isn't the health committee, so I get to throw that in there.
No, thank you again. Thank you very, very much again, man, for your patience, and thank you for journeying with us tonight, man.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just have one thought tonight. You know, when somebody applies to us, they want to appear before us for various reasons. They want to ask us for something. Can we add a line to that questionnaire? Can you help us distribute the annual survey?
Yes, we can. I can update the form to update our. Marlene, can I do that? Can I ask that question? Marlene's the big girl.
It's like going to mom.
I'm not successful, but I'm actually quiet in his meetings. Because he facilitates.
Yes. Okay, all hearts and minds, please. Hearts and minds clear? Seems like they are. I think we are ready for roll call. Yes.
So you don't have any of these things?
What's that? We don't have no old business, no new business. But so you all know, old business after next month, every month our old business will be to revisit our budget needs and requests. So that conversation is not it's not like just this part of the year. Every month we talk about this. So that we're on point. So this is a regular conversation at this meeting. No old business this month, no new business. We have a roll call.
Okay. Marcel Bondino.
President.
Leslie Colon is excused for this meeting. Ada Jarizi.
Here. Pressure.
Chancellor Gray.
Here.
Robin McGinty, she has to leave. Jennifer Meyer.
Here.
Hayward Moulton.
Present.
Tanya Phelps is excused.
Here, I'm here
Valerie
though.
Ponte.
She's here.
I got it. Janelle Satija,
Yeah.
Isaac Scott,
Present.
and Robin Strahan.
Present.
It is a pleasure to have met each and every one of you guys, and I'm really, really looking forward to serving with y'all. I was like, man, who are all these new people I gotta deal with? I'm very happy that you all are here, and I'm very much looking forward to serving with y'all and learning from you all as well. So I'm sorry for keeping you over a little bit. I promise we'll be out earlier next time, but please get home safe. It's been a pleasure. Meeting is adjourned at 8:43.
Yeah, just let them know they'll be ranking. They'll be ranking these requests and be ready to rank.
Yes.
So if you could come in already
Next
knowing
week,
what you're
next month, we
ranking
might
down.
not be getting out of this. Let me just say that. Next month might be just a few minutes longer just because of this longer process.
But if they're ready, it won't be.
We're ready.
All right.
I sent a note on preparation, so we
Right,
are
so
ready.
he's
We
ready
don't
to
gotta-
rank. Do it.
we gotta be right in. Oh, also.
Yeah, I've been sending emails. So priority, it's high, medium, and low.
Thank you.
I'll try. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I mean, it's cool, because you're, that's what matters to me, so that they don't send you.